Welcome everyone to this month's masterclass. Today I am excited to introduce you to Lisa Broome. She is a CPA and is just an all-around wizard when it comes to aligning your finances with your true desires and goals from a really deep-rooted place within what it is that you really want to achieve, and getting really clear on that and bridging that gap, if you will. So today she's going to walk us through her amazing financial wellness checklist, and then we will see where we all land at the end. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Adara. So excited to be here. So I'm just going to take a moment here to share my screen and get set up. All right, let's go here. Perfect. All right, you guys can see some rocks maybe? Yes. Awesome. Okay, well, welcome everyone. I want to start by just acknowledging all of you for being here. I know it's a Thursday evening and I'm sure you've all had a big day. What you're doing here is actually really powerful. You're taking a powerful step for yourself and your financial well-being. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. The truth is, it's not always easy. There's a lot of financial information and advice out there telling us what we, should be doing with our money. And so it's really easy to feel like overwhelmed, stressed, or even really like confused about what direction to go in achieving our goals and dreams. And so I've experienced that personally, as have many of my clients, in wanting to feel more confident and empowered in our financial decisions and the ability to achieve our financial goals. And so instead, often we do feel like worried or anxious or uncertain about what we should be doing next. And I totally get that. And I just want you to know, like, if that's how you're feeling, there's nothing wrong with you. That's totally normal to feel that way. But the beautiful thing is you don't have to. And so that's why I'm so excited to be here today, because as Adara mentioned, like during this masterclass, we're going to get really clear on your top values to support you in strengthening your financial well-being and clarifying your financial goals for 2021. And then I'm going to walk you through how to create a 2021 financial wellness plan that aligns with your values and goals. And then we're going to take a look at steps that you can take to successfully implement your plan and stay aligned and yet in the flow, no matter what 2021 brings our way. And so it sounds like, I think all of you have your PDF either printed or handy. I mean, if you didn't get a chance to print it, that's okay too. You can just jot notes in a notebook or on some paper, but you're definitely going to want something to write on as we get going here. So when I tell people what I do and how much I love personal finance and just finance in general, this is honestly the reaction I often get. It took me a while to find the right photo, but that's totally cool. It's certainly not everybody's cup of tea. However, I do believe that each of us is more than capable of thriving in our financial lives, even if you're not a numbers nerd like I am. And so just real quick, Adara did a great intro, but I've been a chartered accountant for over 14 years, and I've had a love of personal finance since I was a teenager. And early in my career, I was constantly stressed and worried about money. What was I making the right decisions? Was I going to be able to achieve my goals? And so really frustrated, I started looking outside the normal realm of personal and business finance. And through my in-depth study, came to understand that true financial well-being comes from aligning our money with what is most important to each of us, our unique values and goals. And so that's where we're going to start today, is by getting clear on your top values and goals for 2021. And if you already have a sense, that's fantastic. You can bring that awareness with you into these exercises. Oh, I forgot the bottom part. Yes, our unique values and goals. And I truly do believe they are unique to each and every one of us. Okay, so we were talking about this before, but 2020 has been a very unique year for all of us and challenging for many. But one gift that I do believe this year has given us is the opportunity to gain increased clarity around what is most important to us. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I saw some very clear discrepancies between where I was and where I wanted to be, or some of the things that I wanted to be doing. And so as uncomfortable as this year has been, definitely provided some incredible moments of clarity as well. So to start, We're going to do just a short relaxation to get us all grounded in. So I would invite you to get comfortable. Feel free to close your eyes, but you certainly do not need to. And I want to invite you to take a deep breath in and then slowly exhale. And I want to invite you to take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to feel the muscles in your body beginning to relax. And taking another deep breath in. And as you exhale, allow yourself to be present, letting go of whatever you were doing before this call and then whatever you need to do after. And taking one last deep breath in. And as you exhale, allow yourself to be open to the insights you will gain in this exercise and throughout the masterclass. And then when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes. Wonderful. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'd love for you to write down what comes to mind. You can do that on the first page in your workbook if you printed it off on the left-hand side under values. And I really want to encourage you not to filter your responses here. Really go with your intuition and what comes to mind. So I want you to think about what is most important to me in life right now. What is it that I truly value? And what is it that I truly value about my business? And so I'll give you a few moments. I do have a few examples as well, if you think that would be helpful, but I'll give you a few moments to jot down your thoughts. Thanks for the thumbs up. Anybody else finished? I don't want to rush you. Okay, awesome. We're all good? Wonderful. Awesome. So I just wanted to share a few examples of some of my values. Sometimes that helps get get the creative juices flowing a little bit as well. So some of my values are living authentically and aligned with my spiritual and life vision, developing strong personal wellness practices, deepening relationships. So that's like personal connections as well as professional connections and the impact that I want to make. And I truly value financial flexibility and freedom as well. So again, yours don't have to be like this, like these short little sentences or anything like that. This is developed over many years for me, but even if you just free flowed what's most important to you, that's incredibly powerful. So, so wonderful work. Any questions on that before we keep rolling? Awesome. All right. So why are we starting a financial wellness planning session by looking at our values? I know it's not a normal way that people normally look at their money, but I have found it incredibly powerful. And it's how I always start in working with my clients and my own financial planning that I do. So why do we do it? Well, it helps reconnect you with what is most important to you. Money is an incredible resource that we can use, but it's not the end in and of itself. And so, or the goal in and of itself. Starting with why helps you to stay focused on what really matters and allows you to use money to support you in achieving your unique goals and dreams. It also empowers you to confidently take action that supports your unique financial well-being. So instead of worrying about whether or not you're making, right or wrong financial decisions, you can focus on what decision will best support you and also align with your values and goals. And this is how we can truly strengthen our financial well-being, is through that alignment. So the first thing we always start with is getting clear on what's most important to you, because that is the guiding light going forward. So now that you have connected with your unique values, which is amazing, by the way, so well done, I want you to think about the year coming up, 2021, the year we're coming into. And so if you want, you can jot down some thoughts. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You can jot down your thoughts on the goals side of the first page in your workbook, or just, again, any piece of paper that you have handy. And so now I want you to think about what is most important to you moving into 2021. In business and in life, I truly do believe, even as businesswomen, it's important that we take a holistic view of what we want our year to look like, and then we can break it all down into the different pieces. But what do you have a burning desire to achieve this year? Give you another minute. How is that? I don't want to rush anyone. Can I get a thumbs up if you're done? Awesome. Amazing, amazing work. So this is where things get really fun. Well, I think they get really fun. Anyway, so you have not noted some incredible things that are important to you moving into 2021. What I would love for you to do is think about, of your goals, what values do they align with? So I'll give you a few examples here, because this can be a new way of looking at these things for many people. So for example, in my business, one of my goals is that I want to support more women by launching a group financial wellness program in 2021. So for me, this aligns with my goals, with my values of having a really deep connection and impact in the world. So I have this goal, and it aligns with one of my values. On a more personal side, one of my personal goals for this year is to get out in nature and explore Vancouver Island at least weekly. I'm fairly new to the island still, and I really love exploring all of the incredible natural places that are here. And so for me, this aligns with my values of living authentically, as well as developing personal practices for myself. And so I want you to think about the things that you've written down about what's most important to you moving into 2021. Even if it's not like this specific, think about do they align with your values? Even if it's just on a resonant level with yourself, even if you can't say, yes, it aligns with, this specific value. I want you to really look at them and see how they align. Because what I found is if we have goals that don't align with any of our values, it's an opportunity for us to really think about, well, is this a goal that really resonates with me? Or is it a goal I feel like I should be pursuing because of either, cultural expectations or what I think the definition of my success in my business is, when it doesn't necessarily resonate with you individually and uniquely. And so that's why I wanted us to take a few minutes to consider this, because this connection is incredibly powerful. And it helps us to know that the goals that we're setting align with what is most important to us. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? No questions? Okay, then just take a couple of minutes, and that's why I had them on one page for you guys. So, you can draw arrows or whatever you want to align them and see which ones align. You may have some goals that align with more than one value, and that's totally cool. That often happens. or it could be more of a one-to-one. Just give me a thumbs up when you're done. Thank you. Any questions or need help brainstorming, just let me know. Thank you. Thumbs up when you're done, if you don't mind. Thanks, Jackie. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. So yeah, that's a really powerful exercise. So if as you're going through and you decide, you're going to take this and think about it some more, definitely, make sure to ask yourself that question, because that's a really powerful question in aligning your values and your goals. All right. So now you've got some incredible goals moving into 2021, which is amazing. If you're an overachiever like me, that list might be really, really long, or if you've been able to condense it down, fantastic. But for our purposes here today, if you can pick your top 3 to 5, that's what we'll just use as we go through the exercise and actually planning this out. So just for the purposes of time, if you can identify your top 3 to 5 that you want to be thinking about as we go forward. Definitely, if you have more, you can go back and think about them as well. But identify your top 3 to 5 that you want to, and ideally a mix of business and personal. We're going for holistic look here. So pick your top 3 to 5. And then of those goals, note which ones are either purely financial or have a financial component to them. So for example, like some goals are fairly financial in what they are. For example, my business goal, one of them is launching my group program. So there's a significant financial component to that. I'm going to figure out how many women I want to enroll and what's my introductory price going to be. And then that's going to be the financial component of my launching my group program. Whereas other goals, sometimes it's just like a small piece that you want to consider. And if you don't know the exact amount right now, that's okay. I want you just to put in an estimate, your best guesstimate of what that financial goal is. And or maybe it is like your revenue goal for 2021, and that's totally cool too. So of the goals that you narrow down 3 to 5, identify the ones that have financial component to them or are mostly financial in nature. And then just jot down like your best guess at this point of the amount, either if it's, an amount that you're going to spend on a trip or something like that, or if it's more revenue based, what you would like to achieve. If you have any questions or want to brainstorm, just let me know. You guys are doing amazing. I know I'm making you think numbers at 7:30 on a Thursday night.
So we're on the second sheet, right, with the 4 goals up the top. And then we're going to say on the side, business income sources. So the ideas on which that'll happen. And then are we ticking off the month or?
You are keenly
Oh,
jumping a little bit ahead, but
sorry.
that's totally cool. No, that's fine. I was going to mention, like, if you want, yes, if you've identified the financial goals, put them at the top. I've got like a business plan page and then a personal plan page in case you've got like some personal ones as well. Absolutely, feel free to put them at the top. And then yes, next thing is we're going to dive in and we're going to actually incorporate these into your plan. Fantastic question. Yes, you were just rocking and rolling. No, it's okay. We want to keep rocking and rolling. All right. Is everybody ready? Have you identified the financial goals, business or personal? Got some nods. Okay, awesome. So yes, as Adara mentioned, we are going to now look at creating our 2021 financial wellness plans. Now that you have gotten some additional clarity on your values and your unique goals for 2021, we're going to incorporate those into your plans. As business owners, your personal and business financial plans are both incredibly important. So we are going to look at both today. But for the purposes of, and for time reasons, I'm going to assume that you already have like an idea of your overall plans for 2021 in your business and your personal. And what we're going to focus on for now is incorporating these unique goals you have into your plan. So if this is brand new to you, that's cool too. This could be your starting point. But if you already have an idea, we're not going to go through like every line item in your business plan or your personal finances. We're going to focus in on the unique goals you've identified and how to incorporate them into your plans, mostly for time constraint purposes here today. So yes, we've got 2 templates. We're going to start with business, and then we're also going to look at personal as well. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to start with business and looking at the business financial goals that you have identified. And we're going to see, you know, if they're brand new, how we're going to incorporate them, or maybe there are adjustments that you're making to your plan based on clarity that you've received today. So I like to go like how our cash flow comes in for our business and our personal. So we're going to start with income projections. Okay. So I want you to think about any revenue financial goals that you've identified today. So that could be either for like a specific program, like I have my group program that I'm going to start in 2021. And so that's a new revenue stream that I've identified that I'm going to incorporate into my plan. Or maybe you just have an overall revenue goal right now. And that's totally cool too. And so, for example, with the new revenue stream, I'm going to think about, okay, if I'm going to offer it at an introductory price of $500 each, and I'm going to have 6 women, so that's $3,000, and my intent is to launch it for February. So on my sheet, I'm going to note, okay, $3,000 from the new group program. My intention is February. So I'll note that in February of 2021. Maybe it's a new revenue stream that you want monthly. So then just note it down for monthly. So we're identifying the best ways to incorporate it into 2021 based on the specific types of goals that you have. So if it's new revenue or it's an adjustment to a revenue stream, identifying when in the year you want it to start and your estimate on the amount that you ideally want to be receiving. Any questions, or if you want some help like thinking it through, just let me know. How is that? Are you still jotting notes, or still jotting? Okay, awesome. Should have thought of having some music. Thinking music. How are we doing? Awesome. Okay. So once we've considered our income projections, next, I want us to look at our business expenses. So for this, considering any adjustments or additional expenses that would support the financial goals that you have this year. For example, I would consider if there's any additional maybe tech or personnel support that I would want when I launch my group program, because there might be some additional costs that I'm going to incur, that I want to incur, that will support that revenue stream for me. Or there may be some variable costs. If you're planning to work with maybe more clients this year, there might be some variable costs that you would just want to consider. So really it's taking into account, first and foremost, for the revenue goals that you've identified, any expenses that would be associated with those. Again, even if you don't have the specific numbers right now, jot down your thoughts on what those might be. And then I also like to do a review of last year's business expenses and see if they still support my revenue generating activities and align with my plan for 2021. Often what I found is I have a few, sort of one-off expenses that I had, or I tried something and I'm like, you know what, I don't need that anymore, or I'm not using it. So I can remove it, cancel the subscription or whatever, however I went about using it. So that can also be incredibly helpful just overall in preparing your 2021 plan and looking at your expenses, because we want to be really intentional with our business expenses, and making sure that they're supporting us and our revenue generating activities. So any questions on that, or I'll give you a few or I'll give you a few minutes to just jot down any thoughts that you have, or any specific expenses that you're going to want to incorporate as a result of these goals that you have. And again, any questions or want some help brainstorming anything, just let me know. How's everybody doing? Awesome.
These numbers are hard.
Okay, so just for time, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I'm going to go a little faster through the personal side, because I did want to make sure we had more time when considering our business plan. And just the last thing I want to mention on the business side too is, I know we don't love them, but just making sure we're incorporating the right amount for our taxes in our plan. So, you know, income tax, sales tax, if that's applicable to you. Obviously, depending if you're incorporated or sole proprietor, that can have an impact as well. But just making sure, even if you're just using like the average percentage that you paid last year as a placeholder, just to make sure that we're incorporating that into our plan, so that we're not caught off guard at the end of the year with a big tax bill. So I just wanted to make sure that we chatted about that real briefly as well. And then that's gonna bring us to a planned net business profit. And so that's important too, right? To see what you're going to have left after your expenses, based on the revenue that you've planned for. And then depending if you're incorporated or a sole proprietor will have an impact on what comes into personal. I mean, if sole proprietor, then obviously it's all going to be your personal income, versus as a corporation, you have some say a little bit, at least in how you draw income from your company. But we're not going to get into the specifics of that, but just obviously being aware of the differences as we look at our personal financial goals. So just real quick, I just more wanted to touch on this. Obviously, this is more focused on the business side, but our personal financial goals are also incredibly important to us. And so on the personal side, considering your income projections for the year, maybe that is solely from your business, but possibly you could have other income that will be coming in the new year. And so making sure to incorporate all income sources that you have for the year is incredibly important. And you may even have some personal financial goals as well. For example, one of my personal financial goals for 2021 is to grow our passive income by 10%. And that's income that we do often utilize. So that is one of my income sources personally that I'm including in my plan for 2021. And so just making sure that you're capturing all of your income sources is really what I wanted to mention there on the personal side. And then in looking at your personal spending, this is where we have a lot of opportunity to be really, really intentional with our spending. And so in thinking about this, like the question I would ask is any adjustments or new spending categories that support your personal financial goals. So for example, me wanting to get out and explore every week, there's some gas money involved in that. I often find these cute little cafes and I want to stop for tea or whatever. And so I want to make sure that I'm incorporating that into my personal spending plan in 2021, because that's really important to me. And so with that, thinking about the goals that you have and if there's any spending associated with them and incorporating that into your plan. And then I also like to, similar to business, I also like to look at my spending from the previous year and ask myself, like, does my spending still support my values and the goals that I have that are important to me? And if you share a plan with a partner, an absolutely fantastic I know maybe not the funnest conversation to have, but get them involved. Ask them what's really important to them going into 2021. What do they want to be doing? And that can help bring both of your values and goals into the plan for the new year. And so really, you may find with the newfound clarity that some of the spending that you had in 2020 may not align as much in 2021, and that's okay. So just giving yourself permission to make those changes and not feel like you gotta take all the spending that you had, especially your discretionary spending from 2020, and flow it right into 2021. Like, this is, at the end of the year, is a great opportunity for us to really take a step back and be intentional with how we want to be spending in the next year. And truly, like, the stronger the alignment between your money and your goals, the stronger your financial health and well-being, and the more fulfilling and fun your spending does become, because it really does resonate with what is most important to you. And so I have, like, for me personally, so much more fun, like, finding the new cafe after a hike than I do going shopping. Again, personal values. But for me, like, that is so much more fun and fulfilling than going to buy a new sweater. And so for me, that's where I'm going to be allocating more of my spending, because that's where I get the most joy and the most fulfillment on the personal side. And then just really briefly want to touch on savings. Our goal here, right, we're focusing on 2021. So maybe you have some shorter term goals that you want to be saving for throughout the year for later in the year. And if that is the case, absolutely make sure to incorporate something into notes on the page for your personal financial goals. So maybe, for example, you want to take a trip, even if it's locally, depending on what we're all allowed to do in 2021. Looking at your current savings plans that you have, if you have them, or your just savings buckets that you have, and seeing if you already have the funds for something like that, or is it something that you're going to actually want to plan for in the new year. So again, a great opportunity to just take a look at your current savings plans and see if they still truly do align with what is most important to you. So I know we went through that really, really fast. Any questions on either the business or the personal side when it comes to incorporating your goals into your plans for next year? Don't be shy. No? Rock stars? Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, then, real quick. So having a financial wellness plan is fantastic. It is phenomenal. The true power, however, comes from implementing our plan and then staying aligned throughout the year. And now when I say aligned, I want you to know that I don't mean like staying to it like a stickler. This is more about being in the flow and staying in tune with you even as the year flows. Okay, so we've got this amazing plan and we're going to implement it and we're going to stay aligned, knowing that we want to also be in the flow with what shows up in life and that sort of thing. So often people use the B word, the budget word, when it comes especially to personal finance, and it can feel really restrictive and like, these are the rules I have to follow. And this plan is a guide. It's your guide based on the incredible work that you've done to identify your values and your goals. And so use it as such. If things shift throughout the year, allow your plan to shift as well. Okay. That being said, a few things you can do to support you. Visualize yourself fulfilling your goals. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you all know this already, but this is incredibly powerful, even if they're money related goals. Okay. Seeing yourself, like, what are you doing as you fulfill this goal? How do you feel? And so getting our brains activated through the visualization is incredibly powerful. So I really do encourage you, at least on a weekly basis, like just sitting down for just a few minutes and visualizing the fulfillment of your goals and how that makes you feel. Stay connected to your goals and why they're important to you. I encourage you to write them down somewhere and at least once a week, look at them. So I do this as part of my weekly planning and review process that I go through. But you could put them on your fridge or maybe on your mirror, somewhere where you're going to see them regularly so you can stay connected to what they are and why they're important to you. And then checking in with your numbers. What the heck do I mean by that? So checking in with your numbers, looking at your plan, and also comparing it to the actual numbers that are coming through. So on the business side, that might be twice a month or monthly. On the personal side, I really encourage people to do it weekly. We tend to have a lot more transactions on the personal side, or you could do it twice a month or monthly if things are pretty consistent and rolling along. But really checking in with your numbers and how your actual revenue, spending and that sort of stuff is coming through is incredibly powerful. It can give you insights, allow you to make adjustments as you go along. So checking in with your numbers on a regular basis, also incredibly important. And then celebrate your successes daily, weekly, monthly, anything and everything that you do that helps move you towards fulfilling your goals, celebrate it. Our brains love that feel-good rush that we get from celebrating. And so we celebrate, it feels good. The brain's like, ooh, I want more of that. And so it's just helping us to look for more ways to help us fulfill our goals. And so celebrating your successes, the little ones especially, I'm guilty of that too, of really just like, oh, it was just a little thing. But really taking the time to celebrate those is incredibly powerful for us. Helps motivate us, gives us more energy. It's all around real good. And then lastly, know that you can ask for support. So not everyone loves to dive into their numbers. For some, this process can be incredibly overwhelming or even downright stressful, and that's okay. Many of my clients feel the same way when they first talk to me. I know how valuable it can be to have a sounding board and someone to help guide you if this is not an area that you feel confident in. Part of my mission and passion is helping women business owners experience greater clarity and confidence in their financial lives. And so if this resonates with you and you're looking for more confidence in this area, or maybe some additional support in creating a powerful financial plan for 2021, I want to invite you to a free 60-minute call. So during the call, we'll have an opportunity to get really clear on where you are in your financial journey and what your unique goals are. and how you can best be supported in achieving them. So if this interests you at all, feel free to email me at lisa@inspiringprosperity.ca, or I would love to connect on Instagram. I don't know if I'm also on LinkedIn, and then I put my website up there as well, inspiringprosperity.ca. I would love to connect with you in any way, shape, or form that works for you. But I really hope that today has been of value and that you've gotten some nuggets here that you can take away to strengthen your 2021 financial wellness plan. And make next year truly incredible and prosperous for you. So thank you so much for having me.